welcome back to Adventures with Jack. If you haven't guessed it, I'm Jack. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys a favor. For those of you who are getting ready to click away, would you jump down in the comments and tell me why you clicked on my thumbnail, what you were expecting, and why you're leaving? I'm trying to grow this channel, and I'd like to appeal to more people. So if you could just take a couple minutes and let me know what you're looking for, and I'll try my best to create it. Anyway, this is what I did last summer. If you guys don't know, I am a superintendent. I do commercial construction, and this was a cafeteria that I gutted and rebuilt over the summer. It was a 13-week project. That's where I've been. So thought I'd put a little video together and show you guys what it's like doing commercial construction, and maybe you'll get a few tips and tricks for doing residential. You know, so much of the stuff on YouTube is all do-it-yourself stuff for people that really don't know what they're doing. This is all done by pros who do this every day of the week. So hang around. Enjoy. So here's the cafeteria before I started. It had been there for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. It was in pretty sad shape. Cabinets were falling apart. Countertops were chipped. And you looked yucky. Here's my arch nemesis, the staircase that comes out. And here's the secondary serving area. We're starting demo. You can see cabinet doors are taken off. Drink machines are going away. This was the other drink area. There's that nasty staircase that comes out again. This was where the salad bar area was. You can see some of the cabinetry has already been removed. This is the secondary serving areas. And here's the entry with a bunch of trash. And cabinets gone. Yucky block walls. Countertops, cabinets gone. Just demo. Took us about 5 weeks to really get this thing demoed out so we could start the new construction. There was a ton of trash, and because of how the building is situated, everything had to be hauled around the building in carts out to the parking lot. Here's the block walls that came down. Those 2 columns ended up staying. They're supporting the second story. Here's the staircase coming down. Took us over a week to pull this staircase down and get it out of there. It was some of the hardest concrete. Here we're laying out for the plumbing on the floor, for the saw cutting. Here's a little bit of the saw cutting. I didn't get much of that. Here the concrete's been removed and the plumbers are getting ready to start digging trenches. And here's the trenches. You can see the new cast iron plumbing drains are in. It was a job. Cast iron is tough to work with. It's time consuming. But because of the high heat that's needed for food service, the engineer spec'd cast iron everywhere. So that's what we did. We always build to what the engineer tells us to build, whether we like it or not. Sometimes I question it. It seems like we could have done this in PVC. I've done other restaurants in PVC, but the engineer wanted cast iron. He was very adamant about it. And so that's what we put in. And you can see there's plumbing drains everywhere. The water lines all came down from the ceiling, so there's no water lines under the slab except one little bitty spot. There's the main entry, demoed out, widened out. And you can see just how much of a mess it is. Dirt everywhere. When we're digging this, it was a real mess. Areas where we demoed plumbing out, where the old salad bar area was, we pulled the plumbing completely out, and we're going to re-pour all the concrete. Here we are, the plumbers have passed inspection, they've backfilled everything, and the concrete guys have come in now and laid down their plastic vapor barrier, drilled and put pins in the existing concrete to tie it to the new, and put the mesh down, getting ready to pour concrete. And here they are removing the excess dirt. It never ceases to amaze me that there's always a bunch of leftover dirt. Even though we're compacting all those trenches, there just always seems to be excess dirt. I don't know why. There's one of the floor sinks that we put in. All the drains cannot be connected solid from the sinks. They have to dump into a floor sink and then go down into the drain. And that's so that no sewage can ever back up into the sinks that are used for food. Here we are starting the concrete pour. I'll let you just sit back and watch this. Because of how the building was located, we couldn't get concrete trucks anywhere near the doors to this building. The parking lot is on like the back side. So we use these little motorized carts to haul the concrete around the building and in the front doors. We had 3 of them, and it worked really well. Just as fast as they could get around and fill up with concrete and get back and dump in. And they just kept her going, and it was almost as fast as having a concrete truck dump it into the hole, because the guys were able to level it off as the carts came and just kept working through it. And here, the walls are going up. Everything is just knee walls because we have cabinetry that's sitting against it on the inside and equipment and countertops on top. This is a really critical stage as all these walls had to be built plus or minus an eighth of an inch because all the cabinetry, all the countertops were ordered before these walls were built. So we had to build to their dimensions. Here's the hood going in, and here's some more shots of some of the walls. You'll see in a little bit how it goes together. Here's the new staircase from the bottom and then the top. And here's ceramic tile going on the walls. Didn't take a lot of pictures of the tile being installed. Here's some of the millwork installed, ready for tile. Countertops are on. All the countertops are silestone. Love that material. Here's the tile behind. And we're painting the main dining room. Here is the floor-to-ceiling glass on the second story, up where the fast food restaurant is. Here it is from the main dining room. You can see flooring is going in. Drink machines being installed. And here's countertops in the main serving area. You can see the tiles been installed on the back wall. And paper's been put down to protect those countertops. You can see the soffit that was built over the back half of the main serving area. This was done because the health department required a hard surface there because we have sewer lines that run up in the ceiling. And in case of a leak, they didn't want sewage water to drip down onto the food. And here we're swinging around looking at the secondary serving area. You can see the tile on the columns got done. The shout out to the designer on this. Carrie did a phenomenal job with the colors and the tiles and everything. It was really beautiful, and you'll see that here in just a minute. Here's the main entry with the staircase going up. That opening upstairs was opened up. That had been originally was framed in. It had been a window in the original building. Here we're back downstairs in the secondary serving area. You can see the tile on the column. Sneeze guards and cold pans are installed. We're getting close to the end on this. As you can see, the final finish on the fronts hasn't been put on yet. It'll just get glued to that plywood. You can see the new drink bar. And here you're seeing, again, the main serving area with the sneeze guards installed and equipment installed. There's the turnstiles at the main entry have been installed. Millwork out there for the cash register. Main dining room. And we'll walk around so you can get a good grasp. This was just a big square right in the middle. And the trim above on the soffit was installed at this point. Flooring's down. TVs have been installed. You can see the finish up at the top on the soffit. It was oak with a sound absorbing backing, and it did a really good job of knocking echoes down. The new breakfast bar, new drink bar, out into the dining room area. Now the panels have been installed on the bottom at this point. We're almost finished at this point. Getting to enjoy the color schemes and such. It was really, really pretty. That tile was just phenomenal. It's a glass tile with a colored back on it. Just very impressive. And you can see the new tables and chairs have been installed. And we're getting ready to open this thing up. And here it is. There's the breakfast bar, the dessert bar with the frozen yogurt and ice cream dispensers. And we'll just do a sweep around here so you can see what it all looks like. If you'd like to see this thing in person, it's at Charleston Southern University. And you can go in and eat there. You can walk in the front door and pay your pennies and have a meal. Go check it out. There's a nice still shot of the dining room. Thanks for making it all the way to the end, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll take a minute and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell and give me a like. If you didn't like it, hop down in the comments. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what I could do better. I know I'm not the greatest cameraman, and this was actually not planned as a YouTube video. It was just the stuff I do on a daily basis for my job. And I thought I'd put it together and show you guys what commercial construction is like. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to get back to my regularly scheduled projects that I'm building in the shop and some wood turning. I don't know what else to say. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.